From our studio located in Madison, New Jersey, this is Real Good News.
I'm like the man they call a seeker. I'm a real truth speaker, and I always cut right to the core. And you know I really ask, cause I get right to the facts and get the answer to what I'm looking for. I can pronto peg a lie, I'm a tireless and quiet. I've been a furious faker since my youth. My mold is on above ground. I've always been a bloodhound for the truth. The truth.
Welcome to another episode of Real Good News. I'm your host, Georgette Castro, filling in for Lisa Allen. On this first full day of spring, reminding you to please like our show and click that subscribe button. On this episode, we will cover stories from around Morris and Union counties, and we will hear from Tony Nanamaker, Diane Smith-Skirsch. Plus, we will have these stories.
Coming up, a public health professor reacts to recent changes in the childhood vaccine schedule promoted by the Centers for Disease Control. I'm Steve Lebetkin, and I'll have that report later in Real Good News.
As we head into spring and start thinking a little more about what we're buying and using, I'm taking a closer look at something called greenwashing and what those feel-good labels really mean.
The Wildcat Ridge Preserve, a 123-acre wooden track in Rockaway Township, has officially been preserved as an open space following a sale closing a project funded through a $1.4 million grant from the Morris County Open Space Preservation Trust Fund. The grant, approved by the Morris County Board of County Commissioners, enabled the Land Conservancy of New Jersey to secure the property. The land is located within the Wildcat Ridge Wildfire Management Area. The newly preserved acres expand and reinforce a continuous network of protected land in northern Morris County. The land plays a key role in supporting wildfire habitat, protecting water, resources, and maintaining the region's ecological integrity.
Next month, Union County will offer residents training for a very important public service role. On Friday, April 17th, from 8:45 a.m. to 11:30 a.m., Union County Clerk Joanne Rajopi will host a Notary Public Training Seminar. The event will take place at John H. Stamler Police Academy in Scotch Plains and will feature Masood Mufta as the keynote speaker. Mufta is a licensed lawyer currently practicing out of Hillside, New Jersey. He also serves as the Union County First Deputy County Counsel. The deadline to register for this seminar is Monday, April 6th, and a registration fee of $10 must be paid. The fee includes a light breakfast and must be paid in advance. Due to the limited space, only the first 50 registrants will be able to attend. Those in attendance should note that John H. Stamler Police Academy has a strict business casual dress code. Sneakers and jeans are prohibited, and men are required to wear collared shirts. The seminar will cover topics such as completing a notary journal, the proper steps of notarizing, and the application process for the notary public. To register for the event, visit the link shown on your screen.
The Morris County Board of County Commissioners recognized Multiple Sclerosis Awareness Week, observed March 8 through March 14 during its public meeting on March 11 with the goal of honoring residents, advocates, and families whose lives have been affected by the disease. Multiple sclerosis is a chronic disease in which the immune system attacks the protective shelf surrounding nerve fibers, disrupting communication between the brain and the rest of the body. Some symptoms include numbness, weakness, fatigue, vision problems, and difficulty walking. Nearly 1 million people in the U.S. are living with MS, including approximately 14,000 residents in New Jersey. Commissioner Director Stephen Schott presented a proclamation to Greg Komiak, a Chester Township resident who has been living with multiple sclerosis for 34 years. The proclamation recognizes the impact of the disease and ongoing efforts to support individuals with MS. while advancing research toward better treatment and a cure. Joining Comiac was Bridget Delaney, a member of the National Multiple Sclerosis Society New Jersey Metro Chapter Board of Trustees, Sheriff James Gannon, former Morris County Commissioner, Kathy DeFilippo, and her husband, Roxbury Township Councilman Bob DeFilippo. All of them have been personally impacted by MS.
With a voter registration deadline on the horizon, Union County is offering extra support to its residents. Tuesday, March 31st is the deadline to register to vote in the 2026 Westfield School Board election. In order to assist residents, the Union County Board of Elections will extend their hours that evening, keeping their doors open until 9 p.m. for anyone who still needs to register. The Westfield Annual School Board election is scheduled for Tuesday, April 21st, 2026, from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. To confirm their polling location, residents can visit www.ucnj.org/UCBOE or contact the Board of Elections at 908-527-4123.
The 46th Annual Morris County St. Patrick Day Parade was held on March 14, celebrating Irish heritage and a tradition with roots in the Continental Army stay in Morris in 1780. The parade is organized by the Friendly Sons of St. Patrick of Morris County, which traces its modern origin to 1979 in Wharton. Morris County connection reaches much further back to when General George Washington authorized a St. Patrick's Day observed for Continental Army troop and camp in Morristown during one of the most difficult winters of the Revolutionary War. For centuries, St. Patrick's Day has been observed as a religious holiday honoring a patron saint credited with spreading Christianity throughout Ireland during the 5th century. Now, the Friendly Sons of St. Patrick of Morris County organize the annual parade celebrating Irish culture, heritage, and the county's tie to the national founding history.
For those looking to make some extra money within the next few months, Union County has the perfect opportunity. Residents of Union County still have time to apply to become a poll worker for the upcoming election day. Poll workers assist voters at polling locations from 5:15 a.m. to at least 8:15 p.m. and earn a total of $300 for the day. Anyone 16 years of age or older can apply, and applicants who are 18 or older must be registered to vote. While the job requires no prior experience, new workers are required to attend an in-person training session. The primary election will take place on Tuesday, June 2nd. In order to apply online or learn more about how to submit a paper application, visit the link shown on your screen.
This year, grant recipient of Hagee Brother Young Entrepreneur Grant is a 14-year-old Cody DeCoon. The grant will support the launch of the Cranford Residence Venture, Sports Seaters. The grant was created by brothers and founders of Hagee Brother Landscaping, Ethan and Devin Hagee. The grant encourages young people to explore entrepreneurship and turn their ideas into real businesses. Sports Seaters is designed to connect young athletes with students' mentors who can help them develop sports skills, build confidence, and have fun through positive role models. Cody's idea for Sports Seaters is sprouted to his journey in sports after moving from Manhattan to Cranford in 6th grade. In New York, he had little opportunity to participate in organized sports. After his move, he relied on the mentorship of local high school and college athletes to develop the skills and fundamentals he missed. Cody and the Sports Seaters team will be at free community event on Friday, April 17 at 5:30 p.m. Families can get a sneak peek of what the season are all about and warm-ups, drills, and scrimmages.
Union County has officially announced the return of an agricultural program that seeks to serve residents of all ages. The Union County Board of County Commissioners has announced that applications are now open for the 2026 Plant-to-Seed Program grants. With funding from the Union County Open Source, Recreation, and Historic Preservation Trust Fund, these grants are intended to create meaningful and educational conservation spaces for communities to enjoy. This year, there are 2 grant opportunities. The Kids Dig In School Garden Grant is available to K-12 schools and offers funding for a new or pre-existing garden, which can be used for interactive lessons about healthy food, sustainability, and of course, agriculture. Alternatively, the Fruitful Futures Tree Grant is available to K-12 schools, nonprofit organizations, and municipal entities. It provides a fruit tree that will be planted on site and act as a symbol of the importance of conservation and a sustainable food source. Applicants should note that supply of this grant is limited. The application deadline is April 10th. Schools and organizations that are interested can visit www.ucnj.org/plant-a-seed to learn more and to apply.
Union Senior Center celebrated St. Patrick's Day in a true festive style. The day was filled with laughter, music, and a good company. Head and Tail's Pet Salon owner Francia Landreau sponsored festive cupcakes and even brought along her therapy dog, who added an extra dose of warmth and happiness. From lively dancing to a delicious lunch, the room was alive with joy and Irish cheer. Maria Teresa, the Senior Center supervisor, states, "Days like this is a reminder that the Senior Center is more than just a place. It's a vibrant company where friendship flourish, laughter is shared, and unforgettable memories are made."
In May of 2024, Gloria Greer was shocked when her miniature schnauzer, Coco, escaped from her yard in Glen Heights, Texas. Although Gloria and her family searched for the dog fiercely, they eventually feared that Coco had been taken. Then, on March 4th, a resident spotted and reported a lost dog wandering around the Clark Commons Shopping Center. The dog was quickly picked up and taken to Clark Township Police Department. There, officers cared for Coco and used her microchip to trace her back to Greer. Once she received word that her dog had been found, Greer and her husband booked a flight to New Jersey with help from family and friends. While the reunion was shocking for Greer, it was also jubilant. It's still unknown how Coco managed to get all the way from Texas to New Jersey, though the trip doesn't seem to have left her in any bad shape. As of right now, she has already returned to Texas, where she is once again enjoying her family's company. To all our dog owners watching, this is a reminder of why it's so important to microchip your pets. For Real Good News, I'm Xavier Reed.
And now, here's Diane Smith-Kirsch.
In our last episode, we introduced you to drive-through dinners at PCNP Presbyterian Church in New Providence. Each month, cars line up outside as volunteers spend the afternoon preparing hot, homemade meals that are given out to anyone who drives through, free of charge. The program runs on a simple idea, but it takes planning, coordination, and a dedicated team behind the scenes to make it happen. At the center of it all is Kate Forbes, who leads the effort each month, organizing the menu, gathering ingredients, and working alongside volunteers to keep everything running smoothly. Now, this week, we are taking a closer look at how it all comes together and hearing directly from Kate about what goes on into making drive-through dinners possible. What inspired you to start drive-through dinners?
Well, we here at the church have a group of people called the deacons, and the deacons are elected by the congregation, and their role is to take care of the congregation. But we also feel that our role is to take care of people outside our own congregation as well. So we noticed coming out of COVID that there was still a lot of food insecurity, even within our own suburban community. And we tried to figure out a way, how can we help? How can we make people feel loved and taken care of? And the best thing that we came up with was like, let's feed people. And that's always been my jam, feeding people and working through people's tummies. And we started talking about taking care of people in that way. And we were thinking people could come in and pick up meals and take them home and feed their families. But I also know in this community that it would be embarrassing or just kind of daunting to walk into a church to get free food. So what we decided, the way that our layout is our kitchen is right by our back driveway. So I suggested, why don't we do it as a drive-through? And at first people were kind of confused. And I said, no, seriously, like if we cook the food, we have it hot, ready to go, and we have this great back driveway, people can pull up, it's non-confrontational, they tell us what they'd like to have, and we can send them on the way with a hot meal ready to go.
Wonderful. Did you expect it to grow the way it did?
We had no idea what to expect. We were putting it out there, trusting that God would use it, whoever needed it. And at first, we had leftovers, but we also have a freezer. And then we know that we can freeze the food and we can take it to people who've had babies or people that are just coming home from surgery. So we knew that the food wouldn't go to waste. So we had a backup plan, even if we were going to have leftovers.
Beautiful. What was the biggest challenge in getting it off the ground?
I would say trying to figure out how we are going to use our space. So knowing how much refrigerator space we have versus freezer space versus stovetop versus ovens. And the way that I work, I like to provide choice. I'm a little bit crazy that way. So I didn't want to just do one meal. And I knew that if we did 2 different types of meals, we could have 2 different offerings and then we could have more that we could produce. So knowing how to do all the logistics was basically one of the main stumbling blocks at the beginning. Was logistically, how are we going to get this up and running?
How do you decide on a menu each month?
Well, again, that whole choice thing, I have learned that I like to base it kind of off the weather. So if I know it's going to be like rainy and cold, then I'll kind of try and come up with something that's like a hearty stew or something warm and cozy. And in the summer months, sometimes we'll do like a salad with chicken on it. I always kind of wait until I figure out what the weather forecast is.
How many meals do you make in a week?
What we try and do is, since I offer 2 different choices, we do family size and we do individual size. And the family size, I try and have about 30 of each offering, and the individual size, we are right around 30 to 40 of each. So it's about 60 family size meals that go out and about 80 to 100 individual size meals that go out every month.
And how many volunteers may help you?
We have a lot of volunteers that sign up, which is wonderful. So people sign up, and I have a prep day on Tuesday, and people come and help prep for a couple of hours, and we get a bunch of stuff done. And then on Wednesday, we're back in the kitchen starting in the early afternoon, and we cook up until we start serving at 5. So we have different teams of people, different time slots of people to come in to help. And generally, I would say I have at least 5 people in the kitchen with me during each of the time slots. So it's generally about 15 to 20 people that help to make it happen every month.
How do you get your volunteers?
We just ask people to step up, and we've had people not just from within the church, but also people outside the church that have benefited from the meals. They've come and they've helped, as well as people within our congregation that love to do it too.
So Kate, how do people respond to this beautiful community service?
You know, our goal here is to make people feel God's love and to let them know that they are cared for. And the first couple of times that we had people going through, we've heard such amazing, beautiful responses. And it has been such a joy to make sure that people know that God loves them. And we've had moms come through with screaming toddlers in the back that, you know, she just expressed, this is so great for me because I just was in school for 8 hours to become a nurse and just picked her up, and she just wants to go home and be played with. And now I can go home and play with her and I don't have to worry about cooking dinner. We have a group of people that come from a senior center that they come with their list stacked so that they can then go back and share it with the rest of their facility, and they sit and they eat together. And it was the first time that they had done that, and they've been living in the same facility for years, and they're finding such joy in being able to sit together and enjoy their food together as a group. We've had people that have come through and have just been in tears because they had just gotten out of surgery, or they had a loved one that had just gotten out of surgery, and this helped them not have to worry about getting food on the table. And it's been great to see people come through from all walks of life, that some have just needed a break, some have needed help getting food on the table, some have just been too tired and run down, some have just been running from one practice and picking up a kid at another one and just couldn't figure it out. And it's just a great way to really serve the community and let them know that they're loved.
So this is really very hard work. What motivates you to continue doing it?
I'm not gonna lie, we're heading up to almost 2 years, and there are some months where I'm bone tired and I have been weary. But I believe that to whom much is given, much is required, and God has blessed me. And I believe that this is a way that I can give back.
So how can people volunteer and donate?
That is a great question, and I love the answer to that one. Any way that they can. So you can call the church office. You can go on to our website, thecornernj.com. You can sign up to help. There's a Sign Up Genius, which is super simple and easy to use. You can pick different time slots that you can come. Unfortunately, it is during the day, and I know that's really difficult for people that work. But you can always make donations, and you can do that right through the website. You can do that if you pull up and pick up a meal. We have people that'll donate money as they're driving through. We've even had people write to our church and send a large sizable donation that paid for an entire month's worth of meals. So however you choose to do it, you can get in touch with us through the church, and it will all get used for the purpose of helping people get fed.
What are your hopes in the future of drive-through dinners?
Well, I do hope that we can continue with this project. I think it has been rewarding for everybody that comes through, as well as everybody that helps. I hope that, if I were going to say like big dreams and big goals, it would be amazing if we could do it more than once a month. It would be amazing if we had more space and we could freeze stuff and have stuff ready to go for any emergency purposes that we might have. Thecornernj.com is our church website, and there's a Sign Up Genius under the volunteer options, and you can sign up for the different time slots. You can make donations there as well to make sure that this ministry continues.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much, Kate Forbes.
Thank you.
At PCNP Presbyterian Church in New Providence, drive-through dinners continues to bring neighbors together. One car, one conversation, and one homemade meal at a time. For Real Good News, I'm Diane Smith-Kirsch.
And now, here is Tony Nonamaker.
Hey, Real Good News. So over the weekend, the Madison High School's marching band, the Marching Dodgers, took part in the Morristown St. Patrick's Day Parade, joining one of the area's signature community celebrations and showcasing their talents before large crowds in downtown Morristown. Then on Wednesday evening, the Madison High School Wind Ensemble performed at the New Jersey Regional Band Festival at Parsippany High School, giving students another opportunity to share their musicianship in a more formal concert setting. The back-to-back appearances highlighted the range of the Madison High School band program, from spirited community performance to regional music festival participation. School officials also credited band director Mr. Batch for creating opportunities for students to perform and grow as musicians. The week served as another strong showing for Madison's student performers, who continue to bring school pride and musical talent to audiences across the region. The district will hold a district band concert on April 15th from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., so be sure not to miss that. Students from Hanover Park High School earned top honors at the Future Business Leaders of America, or FBLA, State Leadership Conference. Leading the way, Akar Anamalai and Sabas Vega captured first place in supply chain management, earning the title of state champions. The duo's performance highlighted their skills in logistics, operations, and strategic planning. Hanover Park students also secured multiple podium finishes. Madeline Carell placed third in career portfolio, while Hanch Dantapati earned third place in Introduction to Business Communications. Daniel Amalfitano added to the team's success with a fourth place finish in Advanced Accounting, and in a major individual accomplishment, Akar Anamalai was also elected New Jersey FBLA State President, a prestigious leadership role. Congratulations goes out to all the competitors. For Real Good News, I'm Tommy Nonamaker.
Now we check in with Steve Lubekin over at the State Broadcast News. Take it away, Steve.
The CDC recently announced significant changes to its childhood vaccine schedule, scaling back the number of recommended shots. The CDC says the change brings the U.S. closer in line with other peer countries. Dr. Sophia Newcomer, a public health professor at the University of Montana, says those vaccines protected children and removing them could put kids at risk. According to Newcomer, the CDC did not include input from doctors or the public when it made this change.
The concern here is with the changes that have made, and now that we have vaccines that are no longer recommended to all healthy children, we're going to see a decline in vaccination rates. And what that's going to lead to is more disease. we're going to see both short-term and long-term outcomes. In terms of short-term outcomes, some of these vaccines protect against diseases that are really harmful to kids when they're little. One example is rotavirus vaccination. Another is seasonal influenza. These are diseases that put kids in the hospital and make them really ill. And the vaccines are great at helping to protect them from severe illness.
For parents with questions about vaccinating their kids, Dr. Newcomer says to talk with your child's pediatrician and look at recommendations from the American Academy of Pediatrics. In Cherry Hill for State Broadcast News, I'm Steve Lubetkin.
As we head ahead into spring, you may start noticing more products labeling natural, green, or eco-friendly. But what do those labels really mean? Alan Swatson takes a closer look to a practice known as greenwashing and how to spot it.
Let me ask you, what do you think when I say words like friendly, safe, natural, certified, organic, green? These words are generally considered positive and resulting in good outcomes. Now, let me alter the list of words slightly to see how you feel. Pure and natural, eco-friendly, pet safe, 100% green, all natural, certified organic. Like most, when we read or hear those words, we feel positive. We see those statements and we feel positive about the products or services associated with them. Now, having completed that portion of my comments, it's time for the reality check. Many of the statements and labels on products purporting to be friendly to your body or our environment are exaggerated, or in some cases false. Those kinds of statements are referred to as greenwashing. Greenwashing is defined in the Columbia Dictionary as behavior or activities that make people believe that a company is doing more to protect the environment than it really is. There are companies using many phrases and words to appeal to consumers who care about their health and the environment. Some companies have made statements without making any changes in their products. Greenwashing happens when a brand spends more time and money on marketing their green image than minimizing their environmental impact. Now, greenwashing has been around since the 1980s, but it has grown significantly as consumers have become more aware of their environment and their health. Today, you can find greenwashing examples everywhere. The next question is, why is this happening? Aren't there controls on what they can say on labels? First, it happens because it works. People look for these kinds of statements in the products that they purchase or use. The second reason it happens is the lack of clear guidelines that can keep up with the brand's ability to change their marketing. That being the case, what are we to do? How can we avoid greenwashing? Here are a few examples or suggestions of things you can look for. Look for proof. Is there any documentation available that supports the claims for the product? Look for broad or vague terms, words like all natural, eco-friendly, clean, green, and sustainable that have no clear meaning. This should be a big red flag. People often think companies have to meet certain requirements for their labels. The answer is they don't. There are no clear regulations. Finally, you should look for misleading images. This is when a company selling a chemical-based detergent puts a picture of a forest and a waterfall on the label. And the triangle that we see on plastics, we think means it can be recycled. It doesn't. The triangle and the number on it simply represent what the plastic is made of, or the class of plastic. To obtain more information about products recently identified as using greenwashing, just do a search for greenwashing examples. I hope the few suggestions that I've made will make you a little more skeptical of the claims you read on packaging. The bottom line is, as always, do your homework and look into the products you use to assure yourselves they mean what they say on the label or the advertisements. Now, I'd like to do a quick update before I finish. There's a new documentary just released at the beginning of the week. It's called The Plastic Detox. It's on Netflix. It's an excellent follow-up to many of the comments that I have made about plastics. Take a look. For Real Good News, I'm Alan Swanson. Thank you for watching.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Real Good News. Join us again on April 5th when we return with another episode. Until then, I'm Georgette Castro reminding you that real good news is worth sharing.
Now, a lie is halfway around the world. For the truth can put on its pants. Tell the truth. So my mission without fail is helping truth prevail. You got to give the truth a fighting chance. Tell the truth. Beauty's truth, truth is beauty, and it's my civic duty to always write a reality. More than love, money, fame, more than rip on your good name.
I tell you something else about the truth, it will
Set you free on the road to truth you take. There's only two mistakes. Don't go all the way or don't even start. Now sometimes